Hello, my name is Barry Mathis, and I'm the broker owner of Expert Property Management. In this video, I'd like to share some of the things that we do as your property management partner. Exactly what do you do as a property manager is one of the most common questions we get when we're talking to new potential investors. Actually, it's the second most common question. You might be able to guess what the most common question is as it relates to what are your fees? The reason I like to answer the second most common question first is because many property management companies offer completely different services, with many of them choosing to handle only the most profitable parts while leaving the other parts that may be harder with you, the owner, or worse yet, not being done at all. The bottom line is we're truly your partner, and even though our names are not on the title, our success depends on your success. Just like the order of those first two questions, the number one thing that we do for you is not necessarily the first thing that we do for you. It is, however, the most important thing: screening tenants. Screening tenants is by far and away the most important thing that anyone can do for you as an investor. It will have the largest impact over the course of that relationship with that tenant, and perhaps over the lifetime of that investment, what type of return you actually net on that property. We provide proven standards that have been proven over hundreds of clients to place someone into a property that has a high likelihood of not only an ability to pay, but a willingness and a track record of paying. We verify their income, we verify their job stability, what type of job they're in. We look at their W-2s, we look at their 1099s. If they're a business owner, we look at their tax returns. And we're checking these things for fraud. Many times today, it's very easy for people who have an intent to commit fraud to create fraudulent documents that frankly are very hard to tell from the real thing. That's why we have to look at the whole package. We run a full credit report and see how that ties in with their income statements that they've provided. We also run a past rental history where we talk to their previous landlords to find out how they treated the property, what reason did they leave, and what condition the property was in when they left. This strenuous process weeds out 70% of the applicants that apply with us. That is a lot of problems that may have came up down the road resolved before they ever even happen. Again, this is the number one thing we do, and we focus a lot of our time and efforts as your partner on making sure this is done correctly. The second thing we do for you as your property management partner is we provide massive marketing campaigns for your property. The reason that we're able to be so selective in who we accept as a tenant is because we have hundreds of leads that are generated each month for our partners' properties. We use paid syndication on all the top sites such as Zillow, Trulia, HotPads, Apartments.com to make sure that your properties are moved to the top of the list. When those leads discover your property on those sites, we drive that traffic back to our own site at expertpropertymanagement.com. This allows us to capture the information that we need in order to contact those leads, as well as control the timing and the application process. Unlike most of our competitors, we also engage with the local real estate community by advertising your property on the MLS. We pay out thousands of dollars in subscription fees and referral fees to those agents. However, the quality of the tenants that we receive from those referrals are generally much better than the quality of tenants we receive from the general public or rental population. This is definitely one of those situations where paying to play pays off. The number three thing that we provide for our property management partners is strategic pricing. Our experience combined with algorithmic rent survey tools provides you with the most up-to-date pricing analysis possible. We have also created a proprietary database that contains the current pricing of all the local property management company listings in our area. This enables us to position your property in the marketplace to not only attract many tenants, but to attract the right tenant for your property. The number four thing that we do as your property management partner is we provide you with liability protection. When you open your doors as a business, you're now subject to many laws that you may not have even known existed. In California alone, just this year, they created 900 laws that affect businesses in this state. It's a full-time job just to keep up with those that affect real estate, rentals, and property management. I do not feel that I can stress enough how important it is to keep on the right side of these laws. Without even going into the details of what is required to operate in California's tenant-friendly environment, you should remember that you're also affected by the federal fair housing laws. laws. A first-time strike under the federal fair housing laws could result in a $21,633 fine. By the time you get to your third strike, that fine can be over $75,000. Not to mention the American Disabilities Act, whose first offense can be over $100,000. These fines are before you get into actual damages or attorney fees. As with any law, ignorance of the law is not a suitable defense. We spend a lot of our time and energy making sure that you stay compliant with these laws. The number 5 thing we do as a property manager is preserve the property. One of the ways that we do this is by inspections along the way. We conduct a pre-listing inspection to tell you what things need to be repaired prior to putting it on the market or shortly thereafter putting it on the market before anybody ever comes to move in. Having your property in great condition will attract a better client, and that better client will treat your property better. We conduct a move-in inspection prior to anyone moving in, and we document the condition of that property with lots of photos and videos, and we send that to you, store it in our database, and send it to the client. Oftentimes, when tenants are aware that documentation is taking place, they take better care of the property and repair those items that got damaged prior to them vacating. 4 months after we've moved a tenant in, we conduct a second inspection. This inspection we call a health and safety inspection, as we come in and test the CO2 and the smoke detectors, and while we're there, we get a chance to see the condition of the property to find out if this is something that we should be keeping tabs on an ongoing basis. Before we renew a lease, we schedule an inspection just to make sure that the person we're renewing a lease for is someone that's keeping the property in the condition that would give us the confidence to renew a lease with them. Another inspection we do is a walk through the property after a tenant has given a notice and a few weeks before their actual move-out date, just to make sure that they're aware of anything that we're considering charging them for and have an opportunity to fix it. This inspection is required by law to be offered to each and every tenant, even though some of them do not take us up on that offer. And finally, after the tenant has completely moved out, we do another inspection, a final move-out inspection, where we compare conditions of the property to the conditions of the property that were found in the move-in inspection to see what charges, if any, should be withheld from the security deposit. The 6th service that we provide to our property management partners is money laundering. Wait, I didn't say that on video. DRE, we are not laundering money. That was a joke. Just wanted to see if you're paying attention. However, we do receive the rent funds from your tenants, place them into our trust account before paying them out to you. The initial payments of security deposit in the first month's rent are always in the form of a cashier's check or a money order. After that, we allow them to use an online portal for their convenience, although many of them still write checks. You never have to worry about one of those checks bouncing because your funds will always be delivered to you from the trust account in a known good format. We pay an extra fee to our bank so that you can receive your money overnight. We use a system of ACH payment that delivers overnight. We process payments to our partners monthly by the 10th of the month. Oftentimes we send them by the 7th or the 8th, depending on how that month fell on the weekly business calendar. The number 7 thing that we provide to our property management partners addresses what is by far the number 1 expense an investor faces. That is tenant turnover. Why do tenants leave? The number 1 reason provided by tenants for leaving a property was because the owner or the property manager failed to address maintenance issues in a timely manner. The interesting thing about this complaint is that it was not so much how big the problem was, but rather how fast the management company or owner responded to the problem. Remember, just as we see owners as partners instead of clients, tenants are your customers and therefore our customers. A portion of the value that you're providing as a rental owner is the response when these needs come up. The speed of that response matters. Therefore, we employ full-time handymen and women to address those needs in a timely manner. This is the same model that large investment companies such as Invitation Homes, who owns thousands of properties across the country, employ when they're addressing their maintenance needs as well. This allows us to have control of both the timing of the repair and ultimately the cost of a repair. In most cases, the cost of the repair will be significantly less using an internal in-house handyman than it will be using an external contractor. One of the more interesting things is that for the property management company, it's actually more expensive to do in-house maintenance than it is to simply outsource that maintenance. The number 8 thing that we do for our property management partners is we give them access to our network of vendors. Those larger or more complex jobs, we're not going to address those with our handyman. We don't have handymen that do garage door springs. It's too dangerous dangerous. We don't have handymen that do roof repairs. It's too dangerous. We don't get into major electrical. We don't get into major plumbing. Those things are left for contractors, and those are outside vendors. We have a network of proven, trusted contractors that we give hundreds of jobs to that want your business. We provide on-the-ground oversight of the work, making sure that they have access to the property, making sure that the job they're going to do is sufficient to fix the problem, and making sure that the work is complete before the billing is done. We inspect that finished work, and we provide customer satisfaction surveys after the work is done to make sure that your customer and our customer is satisfied with the repair. Our vendors provide us with their licensing information as well as their insurance and in some cases bonding information that we keep on file for our records. If you have existing relationships with vendors, we respect those relationships. We ask that they provide their licensing and insurance information so we can have those on file to protect you and to protect your tenants. We will coordinate with them to provide access, billing, and oversight for the job as required. On our more expensive bids such as roofs, AC systems, etc., we negotiate favorable pricing with our vendors in advance. However, when it comes to a large ticket item, we will generally get multiple bids to ensure that you're getting the best deal possible, considering the factors of time, the scope of work, and the quality of the vendor. The number 9 thing that we provide to our property management partners is bulletproof bookkeeping. We provide double entry bookkeeping done by a 26-year veteran whose only job is to focus on making sure that the funds in our trust account are managed in the appropriate manner. We provide our partners with a monthly report listing the income and the expenses of the items that took place during that reporting period. At the beginning of the year, each January, we provide you with a 1099 as well as a full ledger statement that exceeds the needs of your tax or bookkeeping professional. These documents are inclusive of all your income and expenses and satisfy the needs of your IRS reporting. This means that you don't have to take a shoebox full of receipts to your CPA and pay them by the hour to sort through them ever again. The number 10 thing that we provide for our property management partners, it's really not a thing, but it's a fact. The fact is, we're not you. This simple fact is one of the most powerful things that we do for you. We provide a layer of separation between you and your tenants and you and your vendors. If you come close, I'll share an insider secret with you. The secret is most things that people try with you, they won't try with us. It's not that we're better than you. It's not that I'm smarter than you. I may know more about the laws that affect real estate and property management than you do, but you could learn those. Most of what we do, you can do. However, we can do it more effectively simply because we're not you. We bring a level of accountability and predictability to your real estate investment business that simply would not exist if you were having to do everything yourself, plus do whatever it is you do for a living already. We give you access to systems and processes that can be done at scale more efficiently and more effectively than they can be done one at a time. We are your property management partners. We're passionate about what we do. However, we do not let our day-to-day emotions drive the results that you pay us to obtain. Thank you for taking the time to hear our philosophy on management. If this list of services sounds like promises being made that you expect a property management partner to adhere to, then we're probably going to be a good fit. Reach out to us directly at 916-225-7777 or shoot me a quick email, barry@brokerberry.com. I'd love to learn some more about your unique situation and how we can best serve you.